with olive oil.
I tried, but the smoke point of olive oil is too low for broiling, at least in my experience.
Oh, yeah, I don't broil shit.
That was what the instructions did. I never do, but it was like broil or like cook on a grill. And I was like, fuck off with that.
I don't know why we started with this. We have the biggest news of the year. Welcome to the Unpaid Nobody's podcast, everybody. Action Bronson talking about food. Ayo, Coop.
Delicious.
Coop, the same color as Michael Keaton. I made the Jehovah's Witness watch me do backflips.
I had the full Bulls warm up with the Pippins on.
Full Bulls. Dude, we found a TikTok thing. It was like accidentally Action Bronson. It was very funny. It's like, I'm getting my foot rubbed and watching the Predators game in Greece.
It is hilarious.
Fuck your sorrows. I'm in Paris buying a scarf.
Well, that sounds like something DJ Drama would be on.
Yeah.
To that act.
DJ Drama.
Yeah, my favorite
one. Just fed me French vanilla ice cream. We all got our toes out too.
My favorite one was like, she's got her job off doing cocaine with Latinas on the Close Friends. What the hell is going on? Oh my God. We're having a week. We are having a week.
Losing our minds.
Losing our minds. We are watching the hip hop Civil War, the American Civil War too.
What's the opening 2-punch?
Yeah, it's happening. We've had Purvis. So much has happened. We're so
a bridge fell over. People started blaming black people.
Yeah, like, a boat ran into a bridge. Sounds like race to me. Sounds like the problem is people's race. And then we had about 40 minutes after we stopped recording the podcast last week, probably the feature of the year dropped.
Right. It changed the direction of hip hop going forward.
Yeah, it was wild. But yeah, so do we want to, because we do have quite a bit of other things to talk about. Like, we're not even talking about federal indictments. We haven't even alluded to the multiple, dude, they made the feds figure out time zones. Do you have any idea how big of a threat you got to be to make the feds think about time zones?
We have an election this year, don't we?
We'll see. We'll see. I think it might be a war.
All right.
Anyway, if there's anything that's going to heal us, it's probably going to be the first project that we have listed on our little thing. Like no one can see.
Yes. Great transition into the album. So
I try.
We're opening up with Beyonce coming out with Cowboy Carter. She's doing country now, and we're here for it.
Yeah.
2 leading singles?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I would.
Got a bunch of videos.
Yeah. Rachel's been listening to him because she's a big Beyonce fan, and she also does like country. Doesn't love it, but likes country. And she likes it. She just thinks like Beyonce has had more successful forays into the country sound than the 2 lead singles. But like, I'm excited to see like what it plays out on an entire album level. I just wanted more of the house sound from Renaissance because I just thought that was
nothing's wrong with it.
Yeah, which I just thought was like such a breath of fresh air and such like a cool moment that I'm sure this is going to be great, but I just don't. I'm waiting for Pirate Beyonce or Samurai Beyonce.
That's 20s gangster Beyonce.
Yeah, unless he 20s gangster Beyonce.
Jeez.
Batman Beyonce.
Actually, though, now she mentioned, I do want to go to a house music concert or festival this year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That might be.
Yeah. Well, it's very fun. We'll let you know. Tickets are very cheap. My House Music Festival in Pilsen in August. It's always the week right after Lala.
Okay, but nice come down.
Yeah, and yeah, it's a good come down.
Oh yeah. On the other side of the spectrum, we have Trippie Redd and MGK coming out with.
What is this? Who allowed this to happen?
Make it stop. 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 Make it stop.
Make it stop. Make it stop. Make it stop.
This has to be like legal. This has to break some kind of law. I don't know. It just
the Geneva Convention. the deal at Atlantic's courthouse. It has to violate something.
Imagine the smell in that recording.
Dude, it's got to be bad.
That's in the concert.
Dude, imagine how white that concert would be.
The caucasity, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, boy. We'll move on. Let's go to this.
Now that we get through that, we have Rico.
I just don't know why we're allowed. Why they're allowed to still. I mean, Trippie Redd's fine, I guess. He's nowhere near as bad as MGK, but he's getting there.
It's the choice to work with him that is the question in my mind.
Yeah, I feel like that.
Trippie Redd doesn't need to see.
No, he doesn't. Yeah.
So it's just confusion.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is that Trippie Redd does legitimately put a lot of rock sounds in his stuff. But I think MGK's rock sound is bad. So, like, that's the thing. Like, I just don't think it stands up as rock music either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, like,
Every genre.
I know you can't tell the difference versus Purvis, but rest assured, Machine Gun Kelly is bad.
Oh, I know shit is bad. I don't even need to know the genre for real to understand that.
All right, let's go on to Rico Nasty, I believe, is
Yes.
got a little something for us. With the Boys Noise, is that their producer or is that a group?
Be honest, I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
I was sleepy.
Oh, yeah. I love Rico Nasty.
And I'm sure Andrea will listen to one of those songs on the gym playlist or gym playlist.
Yeah.
But happy for that. And then we have Buddy coming out with Don't Forget to Breathe. He's actually had a couple leading singles, but like he's been so under the radar. But I'm excited for that as well.
Yeah.
But then going into the actual singles, starting off with which could potentially be the biggest single of the year so far.
We could see.
Potentially.
Potentially.
We have Drake featuring on Somebody I Don't Know.
Yeah, that's the part that's like, because like I
don't know.
Like I get Kendrick did it. We'll talk about the verse heard around the world part 2, right? Like the Franz Ferdinand verses. But
What?
Franz Ferdinand was an archduke that was shot and it started World War II. Like, but like at least it was a feature on a Future song, you know? Like who the fuck is BFB the Pac-Man?
A Future.
He's like, I gotta get on something.
Put me in, coach.
He's like, I gotta get on something.
What if these guys didn't pick up? Like, why didn't he just, I don't know, make a song?
BFB the Pac-Man and the Rio De Young.
No.
Never heard of either one. What? Song called Olympic Street Talk.
Yeah.
Everyone's wondering if he's going to respond with the Olympic Street Talk.
What do you think, Purvis, I gotta ask you, what do you think happens if he doesn't? If this is just...
Oh, no. It's... Yeah. It's not going to be good for him.
Because, like, let's keep it real.
It's not going to look good.
Yeah, because, like, what are the chances this feature was written and recorded in the last 7 days?
Most likely.
You think it was?
I mean, what are these people? I don't know who the people are.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is this something he's had cooking? I don't know, maybe. But I just don't feel it.
Yeah, I feel like, because I don't know these people's names, I feel like they're just people who got the amount of money necessary to get a Drake feature. Right? And it's like, but yeah, I'm we'll get to it.
Yeah,
it's got to be something. It's got to be.
If it's not, then yeah, it's all downhill. But it please do something. Because we actually need a response for this to keep hitting.
Yeah. No, it's all right, let's run through because I just want to talk about the verse. I just want to talk about
I know. We're gonna get to the verse.
We gotta get to the beef.
But moving on from that, we have one of the most random collaborations I've ever seen. Camilla
Cabello and Playboy Cardi.
It's already out and there's a
Wild.
video.
Yeah.
It's called I Love It. And he's doing his new voice.
Wait. It's called I Love It?
Yeah.
Yeah. Muy,
There's a
Is Cardia a sick fuck who likes a quick fuck?
It's also spelled exactly like the Yeet version. Like Yeet has a song called spelled exactly like that from 2093.
Wild.
Yeah. So yeah.
This feeds right into that thing I was talking about. We need a segment where we do song brackets, where it's like which of these songs that have the exact same name are the best
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
song verses.
Yeah. That could be fun. That could be fun.
So
All right. A Boogie with the Hoodie next. Also dropping what?
dropping with Steppers.
Is this a response? Is he?
Like, is he taking a side? Maybe.
Maybe.
But anyway, we have Doechii and JT coming out with Alter Ego. That's actually
What?
really big collab.
JT Justin Timberlake?
No, I think JT from City.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what? Like,
Excuse me?
yeah.
No, I could be mistaken. I'm not sure, but I believe that is.
Yeah.
So honestly, that actually could be a really big song, especially since we're waiting for
The album that is almost certainly coming. Purvis, every single release has confirmed your theory that list is in chronological order.
Yes, and I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, we have DJ Premier and Snoop Dogg dropping "Can You Dig It." We also have G Herbo coming out with "Subject," and then to wrap it up, we have Chris Patrick coming out with "Take Time for Yourself," another Chicago native. That's someone I would definitely see getting on the podcast when we get a look at them.
Yeah.
A lot of big singles, a lot of good singles.
A lot of big singles. Yeah. A lot of different kind of artists coming out to play. I'm very excited to see that Doechii's finally starting to release some singles running up to this album. Definitely, one of the albums I want to see the most is materialize this year. So it's good to see it happen.
So yeah, we also, I guess, moving on to the actual news.
No, let's talk about
Wild news.
Yeah, this is insane. Is this actually technically bigger news than the beef? It's not what we care about. Yeah, it's not what we care about on this show, but like, yeah, apparently Diddy had his his houses on two different coasts in LA and Miami get raided.
Yes.
According to sex allegations, sex crimes, Epstein shit. Yeah. I have not looked into the details. I do not need to gaze upon darkness and let darkness touch me back.
It's heavy, dude. It's
like I've read this stuff about XXX. I do not.
No, this is worse, and it's like 20 years worth of it at least. And it's also like money laundering and like illegal firearm imports, human trafficking, like all
the human trafficking. Yeah, I've seen like the woman's testimony for X. Like, and like the fact that like he made her like tied her to the chair, like made her pick like what he was using. I don't know. X was a sick fuck. Like, I don't know. Like,
but did he like a quick fuck?
Yeah. No, don't make that joke when we're talking about sex crimes, Jasper.
I'm sorry. It's there. It's the rhyme.
No, you got it.
Freaking automatically respond.
Jesus Christ. You let me. I'm calling you out. Jesus Christ. Like
you calling on the name of the Lord? Now we are in desperate times.
It's the name of Lords. In the name of Lords and Gods.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Just kidding. But yeah, he's
knows where his private jet is.
Yeah, he's
from like Syracuse on the basketball team arrested that's connected. It's Cuba Gooding Jr. has been apparently connected to it. Dude, this is insane. This is Epstein shit. So that
his plane was seen going to, I forget what it's called. It's an island that has the word Cape in the name. Basically, it's a very small sovereign island nation that doesn't have an extradition treaty with the U.S.
Yeah.
So the thinking is he is gone.
Yeah, he's pulling a Polanski.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but that's just an admission of guilt, right? Like,
yeah.
Yep.
And they want to distract us from it, so they destroyed a bridge
and blamed it on the black.
Yeah.
but
yeah, I don't love talking about this kind of stuff because I feel like we don't do the research to put actual commentary on people's lives and crime. I get it. Like, it's a necessary part of the show. But yeah, it's like, boy, this is some dark shit. Yeah, this is some wild shit. I've never been happier to just have been born to the late enough that I just don't give a shit who Diddy is. Like, I get like why he's important. Like, I get like, his place in hip hop, but it's just like,
Right now.
yeah, it's just like, I have no problems being like, that person seems shitty. I don't need to think about them anymore.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I just looked it up real quick, but the Miami Herald reported that federal agents questioned Combs at the Opa-locka airport in Miami on March 25th. The agents confiscated a number of electronic devices and cleared him to leave for a planned vacation to Antigua and Barbuda.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see if he comes back.
Right. All right. Well, we'll be updated, I'm sure. But moving on to some of the other news, then, very different kinds of news.
Yeah. This is a delightful little piece of news.
Large Sean has finally joined the NPR Tiny Desk group. He's got his own concert now. The music video is out for you to watch. Had a pretty good performance. It looked like it was a lot of fun. So we love a good rollout, and this is just a nice little piece coming up to the album. So,
How is he going to fit at the Tiny Desk?
Because he is so big. Because he's a big shot.
Sizable shotgun.
Yeah.
it's been one of those weeks.
It's one of those weeks. No, this is going to be cool. I think Big Sean has the kind of catalog that I think would work on a Tiny Desk. I think that is ever since I saw the Run the Jewels Tiny Desk concert, that is the thing I look at. Because it's just like, I don't think every great artist necessarily translates to that, that medium. But a Travis Scott Tiny Desk concert would probably be a little silly, like.
That would be kind of interesting, though. Some of those songs that are just full ear candy, like deconstructed and remade.
It'd be interesting, but I think the thing is, it would be very similar to like the Run the Jewels Tiny Desk concert, which is just toothless and a little boring. And I gotta keep it real with you. I think both those guys have like so much charisma that like I don't think Travis Scott has, that I think would play really well in that setting. And they still can't get over that lack of energy that they can't bring with their music. So it's like I think there's an entire class of artists that like I don't think could do it. But I think
I'm gonna say, where's the Meek Mill?
yeah, like Meek, like I think like something like Meek Mill or like Future. Could you see a Future Tiny Desk?
ASAP Ferg.
Yeah, right. Like,
Jesus.
but like it just makes sense, right? That's why people like Mac and Miller, right? Like it works. It just works perfectly. But yeah, no, I'm excited to see this. You know when it goes?
Do I know when what?
When it goes out?
It's already out.
Oh, it's already out? I haven't seen it.
It's already out.
I just saw like an announcement. Yeah.
I mean, it's on the website at least. Yeah, I think it's up. If not, it'll be out soon. I'll put it that way. But anyway, moving on. The other news, we have Jack Goes Back, which is some relation to Cactus Jack is going to be releasing what looks like a book of some sort. At campus bookstores and online on the 4th.
Yeah, it's Mitchell and Ness collaborating with Cactus Jack, and it's basically going to be like a set of like college style, like collegiate merch and like clothing and other stuff. There might be like interactive stuff with it, but that's so far what we know.
Okay, that actually is more exciting than
like NCAA inspired March Madness type stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. That would go hard on campus, so that's actually kind of cool.
April 4th.
Yeah, okay, but and then last little bit of news. Then I just wanted to run by it. Did we talk about Denny Brown last week?
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
that's why I took it out. Yeah.
Okay. Well, for me, I went to the Boz concert on Monday, a bizarre time at 5:30, and it was actually a really dope concert. It was at the House of Blues. Well, not the House of Blues.
It was. You said it was.
Yeah, the House of
Yeah, you said
Yeah.
the venue that I still hate, which are not still not a good venue. But he killed it. He went through a lot of his discography. A lot of the fans that were clearly there from like when he started 10 years ago. But man, the last song he closed out, absolutely fantastic show. He comes out for an encore and he does one of his like classic songs from like years ago. Like one of the ones like Isaac and I barely even recognize. And he said anybody in the crowd can come up and like you can perform, but like try to perform the best way you can and we'll help you out. Some kid already with like the theme jersey merchandise on, the Sudan flag, because he's been promoting Sudan so much because of all the war and stuff.
Yeah.
And he had like a whole like.
No, that's very cool. I like that. That's good shit.
Kid comes on with the Sudan flag, locked it. And he's like, all right, we're going to give you a mic and like this, that, and the other. The kid does a full like performance, like better than Boss. And Boss like literally took the mic, put it in his pocket. It was just like, let the kid go. And he did the full song by itself. It was one of the dopest things I've ever seen in my life.
That's really cool.
I can't even imagine like that kind of experience. The only thing I think of is like doing ultralight beam with Chance. Like there would be nothing that's
Yeah.
so absolutely phenomenal. Everyone was losing their mind and screaming. Just a really dope experience I want to share. So I have a very big appreciation for smaller concerts that have the ability to do that without.
All right. Yeah. No, I mean, I would have gone if I would have thought about it a little bit more, but yeah, no, I'm really happy to hear that Boz puts on a good show. I've only ever seen him come out and support J. Cole, so it's good to hear that he does it on his own too.
Yes, very, very good show.
All right, do we want to go to school really quick?
Yes, school is in session. I have the names up already. To start us off, Joey Badass.
Have we done Joey Badass?
Nope, I went to the list.
Nope. Oof. A-.
Agreed.
A-. I think he has some classic projects. With the possible exception of All American Badass, I don't know if he has made his classic yet,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why the minus. But I think
Nothing negative.
I don't think he's made any bad albums. I just don't. He's in a very similar position to like, not similar, but like I just feel like he hasn't completely reached his potential yet. But like he is just like very incredible. So yeah, I'd say A-.
All right, but honestly, I'm cool with that. He has literally no flaws, I would say.
Yeah. The only thing is that he doesn't make hot music. He doesn't make the kind of music that pops on the radio, you know?
And it's good to go in with that mentality.
Yeah.
Without it, then you're going to have wrong expectations. After him, we have Baby King.
Baby King.
Hendrix's cousin.
Hendrix's cousin. Wow. I wonder what side he's going to be on.
B is for Baby Keem.
V is for Baby King.
B is for Baby King.
I don't know. Like, I just feel like I just haven't loved anything by Baby King besides for a handful of songs.
Okay.
I see the potential. I see the. I think he can get there. I think he probably will get there. I just don't think he's there yet. Like, I don't even think he's even relatively. Like, the thing is that, like, I'm very confident he's going to get there, but I don't think he's even particularly close to, like, his potential, right? Like,
there was a point we compared him to Denzel and Jid, and we said they were going to be the big three. So now there's a very big difference in quality.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like, to me, when I said that, I was taking Baby Keem on potential versus, like, Jid and Denzel as, like,
kind of in quantities.
Qualified, you know?
Yeah.
I saw a TikTok this week and I sent it to you, and I definitely think like the other third of that group of artists that's maybe in the same realm as Jid and Denzel is probably Vince Staples.
Yeah.
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 I think he's probably their third. So yeah, I think I would probably give Baby Keem like a B. Yeah, I would give him like a B because like I think the potential.
Keem, guys, come on.
Yeah, I would go B because I think he has the potential, right? Like, I mean, obviously, like we know why he got the Kendrick feature, but at the same time, like, I feel like on every song that Baby Keem has with Kendrick, though, I feel like he is genuinely kind of performing at his level. Like right? Like I have, and there's no song with Baby Keem and Kendrick where it feels like, oh, Keem's being thrown a bone here. It's like, no, it feels like, especially on Family Ties, it feels like he's really showing up to the opportunity.
Where did this come from?
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, I kind of have to acknowledge that, like, yeah, he's working with the best rapper in the game because that's his cousin, but like, he's not doing nothing with that opportunity, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think he did a good job of creating an atmosphere in the latest album.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, I definitely think that there are definitely some like songs that I really like. You know, I really like Do Rag Activity with Travis Scott. I really like a couple of the songs on Die for My Bitch. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm going solid B.
I don't see that we've done him, but I could be mistaken. But G Herbo, Chicago native.
G Herbo. G Herbo is in that realm, kind of like Lil Durk, where I don't listen to them a ton, but I've heard G Herbo a lot more than Lil Durk. And I like G Herbo a lot. So I'd probably go B+ for G Herbo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna also say B for this one. Like, he's got some really good standout tracks. Unfortunately, I think that like his biggest, most known hits are really not necessarily his songs, or they're ones that he's also like featured on. And with that, it's just like the identity. Like, I think being from Chicago, we lean that way for sure. But like, I don't know if the rest of the country necessarily feels that way also. So I feel like we might have like a little bit of that localization thing going on. Plus, I mean, I don't know. Culturally, he's pretty impactful. You know, Phazo's the whole thing. But at the same time, I think that the artistry, like in terms of like the presentation and the rollouts, is just not always like, it doesn't feel like it has like the polish and the push of like someone who's really doing it nationally, like big time, you know? I don't know. That's just my take.
I think that's fair. I don't really have like a strong urge to debate you on that.
Mm. Yeah, honestly, I agree with that. On C range as well. In terms of, like, the quality that he's put out.
Yeah.
And like, man, he's had.
I think the fan base he has speaks for itself, right? Like, when people say cultural impact, like, that's what I give it. Like, that's like the cultural impact I think really matters, right? Like,
yeah,
G Herbo, Lil Durk, they bring out fans.
Right. All right.
Yeah. I mean, he released an album last year strictly for my fans too. So, you know.
That is true. Okay, good. All right. I'm putting him B. We're going to wrap it up with the last one, Amine. You guys remember him?
I know Amine. Yeah, I remember Amine. Yeah. He is Playboy Cardi's Miles. Yeah, I think Amine kind of is in a very similar spot as like G Herbo for me, where it's like, yeah, like I think he's very talented. Maybe it's a little bit different because I have a lot of respect for Amine, and I really liked, you know, some features, some singles, but I've just never really stuck with me hardcore. So I'm probably gonna go B-.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jasper, what do you think?
I don't know the music super well. I heard a little bit. It's all right. But I'm putting him in the D tier for giving us one of the worst shoes I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable, dude. Just like taking a good thing and just running it into the ground. Make it stop. Make it stop. Make it stop. Oh,
I don't even remember seeing a release for it for real.
No, they came out.
No, I'm saying like no one was really talking about it. That's the sad part.
Yeah, the Burned Banana 4 is awful.
Honestly, I'm around a B. I have really enjoyed everything he's put out. I think he has a very nice quality, and it's a refresher from the typical music that we hear in streaming nowadays. Contra Mine was fantastic in my opinion. It just kind of got glazed over. I don't know why.
Yeah. See, I just did not like Contra Mine. I thought Contra Mine was just kind of like, I didn't think it was bad, but I thought it was kind of flat and boring. You know, like once again, like I don't think it was bad. I like Nada as a producer. Like I've liked a lot of the things he's produced. It just that just didn't hit for me.
Yeah, I understand. I ain't mad at you.
Yeah.
All right, but well, that's everybody.
That's it. That's going to school. All right. Purvis, I have a question to ask you. It's an important question.
Go on.
And is it true that if young Metro don't trust you, that I might shoot you?
Yeah, he's gonna shoot you. I'm not.
Yeah, we don't trust you. Dude, there was a lot of shots taken on this album, right? Like, man,
the lack of trust was real.
Right? Like, honestly, I feel like I feel like the biggest news story, like, this is something I've been dying to just say on the podcast, is like, as much as I am like a huge Kendrick Lamar fan, I love like that he did this. I like that song.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this entire album is a Drake diss. I feel like I feel like he's kind of stealing like the spotlight. Like,
that is also true.
Like there are a lot of people out here kind of airing some dirty laundry about Drake, and like
they get the Avengers together of all the people.
Yeah, they got the Avengers on there. All they need is fucking
Kanye.
Yeah, with fucking Adolf.
Pusha T is hanging out for the deluxe version, just rubbing his hands together.
Literally. Pusha T and Kanye are the only two people left that I could think of.
Yeah. Pusha T is like
The Weeknd on here, and The Weeknd was like, I'm not featuring anything.
Yeah.
And he's on here.
Yeah, it gets Pusha T's about to call Future and be like, how do you feel about a Cinderella remix? Like it's although I think it's very funny bringing up Pusha T, because I sent you that TikTok about the life of Adidon, and a creator I really like, his name is Christian Divine on TikTok. He makes a lot of content about like social justice and hip hop and the intersections, but not always the intersections. And he made a comment about the Duppy Freestyle Life of Adidon diss that when we get to the diss factor, I think is interesting. But it's a take on the Life of Adidon I don't think I've ever heard. And I think it's I sent it to you and you responded to it, so I know you saw it. But I think it's undeniably true. And we'll get to that. I'm seeding this for later. But I think there has been a severe dark side to the Life of Adidon.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
But honestly, it is crazy. After we finished recording, when the album came out, literally within seconds, my Twitter was blowing up about the Kendrick feature. And I went to listen to it immediately. This is the first time I didn't listen to an album in order. And I was like, wow, this is like debatably some of the biggest news we've covered on the podcast. Like, minus Young Thug going to jail. It is probably one of the biggest.
Yeah. Yeah. Besides that, this event is insane. You know,
it has started a civil war within the hip hop community. I have never seen so many people who I've never talked to music about, like, have been talking.
Yeah.
Like, people who literally don't listen to any of the artists know about what's going on. It feels like a sporting.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy.
So, question for the gallery. Do we want to go over the diss and its ramifications and then review the album?
I could do either.
Or do we want to review the album and then talk about the diss and its ramifications?
Which one is bigger, do you feel?
Honestly, I feel like the diss is bigger because while I do like this album, I do like this album. It's not my favorite album of the year. There's a good handful of albums that have come out this year I've liked more. And I think there are a lot of stellar tracks on this. I think it's like far too long. I think it's maybe not quite streaming disease level, but it's long in the tooth. It's a long, repetitive album. I think there are some excellent tracks on this, right? And some excellent features. So like, I think it's a very good album. I just think like,
But the diss
this is the main, and
let's
not even, and not even specifically like, well, yes, we're obviously going to talk about the Kendrick part of it, but not even necessarily that. Like the titling, like the way the titles, like there's like 7 or 8 titles on this that are all like responses to like For All the Dogs.
Mhm.
And yeah, there's a lot to talk about in the diss here. So how do we want to start this?
Well, I mean, the diss track is what everyone's discussing, so I guess we might as well open up.
Like that, which is just like it's the most face off thing. And yeah, the last time there was a diss track this big, like, or a moment.
The Drake one, I guess.
Though I was maybe not a diss track, but like a moment this big was probably Control.
Yep.
You know,
In terms of just like
because like yeah, the Drake Meek Mill thing was big, and like truth be told, I think Back to Back is still probably the best song out of most diss tracks ever released. But yeah, no, this is something insane. So
yeah.
what was everyone else's reaction to this? Jasper, you hate Drake. A boy you're ambivalent about attacked a boy you hate. How do you feel about
How was your time?
I'm not ambivalent about Kendrick. Kendrick has grown on me a lot. The butterfly, Pimp Butterfly hasn't, but everything else pretty much has.
Yeah.
Specifically, Damn and Good Kid, Mad City, which I listen to like on repeat now. Yeah, I mean, valid. I think that first person shooter in terms of its rollout was just kind of like, I don't know. I didn't like it. Like it's as a song, it's fine. I actually like the song better than the media associated with it.
Yeah, no, I think my hottest take here is I actually think First Person Shooter is a better song than Like That.
Okay.
I think
Kendrick's verse is pretty good though.
Kendrick's verse is very good too. Very good too.
But
I think this is actually.
this is tough.
No. I'm about to drop a hot take. I actually think this is one of the weaker beats on the album.
Really?
Right.
Yeah, like I think, I don't
say it's one of the weaker.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's Metro Booming. There's a high bar. And I think First Person Shooter is the best song on that album.
Good.
But like this verse is obviously like way better than anything on First Person Shooter. Like at least on a technical, like hip hop as competitive sport kind of thing. Like yeah, 100%. And obviously I'm a much bigger Kendrick Lamar fan than J. Cole or Kendrick. Now I do want to ask this because this is something I brought up actually during the last beef, the Megan beef, right? Because like there was a theory that like a lot of what Nicki Minaj was reacting to was kind of like a self-report. Like basically all the Megan's Law stuff that Nicki Minaj thought was about her husband.
Oh,
There was a lot of people thinking like, oh, this is actually just about Drake. You're just reacting to it because the shoot fits. Right? And this is something you have pushed back against. I'm wondering how much of this is actually like a diss at J. Cole. Because like, yeah, there's a few bars that like are inclusive of J. Cole, but like it does not sound, it sounds very pointed at Drake. And the rest of this album sounds very pointed at Drake. So am I wrong here? Does this, yeah, like there's the fuck the big three, it's just big me. Like, yeah, like that's
Directly at Cole.
That's directly at Cole and Drake. But like
his line in first person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think because the entire album actually does seem like a Drake diss, I do think most of Kendrick's verse is directed towards Drake, and also what Drake stands for in terms of like hip hop right now, which is focused on streaming. I do know that there's a couple of lines that people are assuming are shots towards J. Cole.
Can you break those down for me?
With that stick?
Yeah.
You ain't 3K because the song stick.
Yeah.
Obviously the very obvious one that we talked about as well with the motherfucker big three, it's just big me.
Oh, by the
two
By the way, fun thing that's going on in my apartment. I'll just yell out like it's just big me, and then Rachel will hit that bum from across the apartment. The hardest bum in hip hop history.
A chant in response
with a hard B.
Yeah. Bum.
that is, it goes hard.
I do want to say I think like that is not getting necessarily the musical credit that it should. There's one thing I noticed about it I think is really interesting that I don't think anybody else has really talked about. Maybe it's just me drawing stuff together too much, but the progression of that like heavy synth at the beginning kind of goes off into the verse is almost like a very similar, like a step version of the progression from Too Many Nights. And those are both songs that have Future on them, right? So it's like, it's interesting that it's like being
it's like I've heard that. Some people thought it was Morse code. I thought that was very funny. Like that was a series on it. Yeah, it isn't Morse code, but
that would be insane. I don't even know.
Yeah, I think another person suggested, and this one I actually don't think is all that crazy, but like the way it's like triplicate, like those like synth lines are kind of triplicate.
1 2 3 1 2 3.
Yeah, it's meant to be like fuck Drizzy, like
Funny.
Yeah, like someone had said like is what it's supposed to like represent. I think the funniest like meme I've seen was like someone be like, "All right, time for the next feature to cook this shit," and it's R2D2, and it's like
I've seen that one.
Yeah.
Especially on his laptop just going crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, like it's a very good song. I think Future is great across a lot of this album.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think his like that verse is all that great. Especially because it's like very like over the top toxic Future. And like like this song and the song directly after it are like very classic toxic Future. But I think as an album, this is actually significantly less toxic than like typical Future, like as a whole. So I think to me, like the Future parts of like that sticks out a little bit. You know, once again, not bad. I'm not like that is great. I've listened to it a ton. Like, I'm not saying like I did really like First Person Shooter, and I think maybe just as a song, I like it a little bit more. But I love the spirit that Kendrick brings to this.
Yes, absolutely. Honestly, it's something we haven't seen in hip hop in a minute,
and I miss it.
Yeah.
I feel like people forget like that this shit is supposed to be competitive, right? Like, and I think that now is a good time to talk about that Christian Divine video where he talks about the life of Adidon, because basically his thesis is that the life of Adidon effectively like killed like diss tracks, because before the life of Adidon, like with Back to Back and basically everything since then, it was about bars. It was about like who's better at rapping, like who is better at this shit. Like even like once again, look at the Meek Mill Drake, the biggest one immediately before that. What Life of Adidon did is it made it not about a competition of bars, which like don't get me wrong, Pusha T would wash Drake. At least I think so.
Yes.
But it made it about information. It made it about like, you know, and like this guy even said like, I think Duppy Freestyle is an absolute better diss track than Life of Adidon. Life of Adidon just has like literally press stopping level information in it.
What?
And then from there, like diss tracks have just never been the same, even when they're good. Like something like Hiss, right? Like I think that's a really good song. Like, you know, and that's a diss track. But it got so much attention not because Megan Thee Stallion's a great rapper, but because of the information in it. You know what I mean? And I feel like this feels like a callback to that earlier, you know, where this is like about, there's nothing in this that isn't public knowledge. There isn't anything, you know, this isn't about the information. This is about talking shit and like doing it well.
Talking about the music. Yeah, I was going to say literally just talking about the music. The issue is people attach to drama more than they would attach to anything else. And so because of like the stuff with Drake just has drama around him all the time. So it was very easy to like attach themselves to this song. But I don't feel like people are actually like listening for the music. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
listening for the story.
Yeah, 100%. That's the thing.
I don't want to call it like a double-edged sword because like I'm glad that hip hop is getting more competitive. I'm glad that hip hop is getting more attention, but like the attention to get isn't always like in the best motive, I would say.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. I think like there are absolutely people who like just they do disses as a form of clout chasing. You know, I think that was a lot more prevalent of a thing long before our time. You know, maybe from like the late 90s until like early social media age. I would say the idea of like doing a diss in order to generate clout was like a huge thing. I just don't see it that much anymore.
Yeah.
You know? And like, I think another thing that Christian Divine brought up is that like, you know, everyone talks about Drake, everyone talks about the ghostwriter like allegations, right? But like, look at who these ghostwriters were. They're The Weeknd. They're Party Next Door. They're the people writing his hooks and his.
I'm gonna say it's R&B.
It's R&B artists who are all these ghostwriters that Drake has been lying about, right? Drake writes his own bars. Like the bit that Christian Divine went at is that the only thing Drake is actually pretty good at is a diss track. Like,
I mean, it is some of his best music.
Yeah, like it is like genuinely just like, well, because it's the one thing he's good at that he can just do, right?
Yeah.
So I think like that's like, I think the Kendrick Lamar of it all makes people forget that like, you know, yeah, Kendrick Lamar is I think he's easily gonna wash Drake. I think Kendrick Lamar could probably wash
anybody.
Yeah, I think Killer Mike could wash Killer Mike. Like,
yeah.
But like,
he's versatile enough.
But like, I do think people very much underestimate Drake in this instance, and that's why I do kind of see like why. On one hand, like it's hard to not laugh at the Drake fans who think like this is anything other than, you know, Tyson versus a baby. But like, but yeah, it's just I think that's just the reality of it.
Mm-hmm. So what's the best outcome out of this? What do you guys want? Because I shared.
I want war. I want war.
I shared.
I want a hot war. I don't want this. I want a hot war.
Everyone included. Yes.
I want J. Cole to get involved. I want to see, because like, I think if anyone's in a rough spot, it's J. Cole. Because like, J. Cole, the only time he's ever dissed someone, it was Lil Pump, and it was a lot of sit down, young whippersnapper, I'm going to talk to you energy, which like worked. That song I think is great, but you can't do that to Kendrick. Like,
yeah, the sleepy old man energy is not going to cut it.
Yeah,
for Kendrick.
Yeah, it's not going to cut it for Kendrick, right?
He's one in the industry for far too.
No.
Yeah, J. Cole just needs to take a stance, which I think he could do. It would just be interesting to see.
Yeah. And I also do think, like, listen, I think there's a handful of people who are almost as talented as Kendrick. I think J. Cole's on that list. But I also think Kendrick is probably going to wash.
I actually do have a question.
Okay.
But before we get to, like, what's the best outcome? If you were to say who's the big three, is this appropriate to say no 3 people? Who would you say?
J. Cole's not mainstream enough. I think Kendrick.
Oh, I completely disagree with that. I think like J. Cole is like representative of the most popular form of hip hop right now.
Right, but I'm saying like relative to Drake, you think that J. Cole would be able to stand like side by side and be like in the same league in terms of the sheer exposure?
I don't care about exposure. I think that's
that's what it's about.
No, it's not. It's about talent. It's about who's the best. It's not about who's the biggest. It's about who's the best.
Well, they're talking big three. I would think that it was about like the position in the culture.
No, I think that's lame.
Like a little.
No, I don't. I think it's but no, I think like you can't just be, I think it has to come down to like, you know, I think that's the whole point. That's why it's done in diss tracks and not on like Instagram captions, is because it's about like your technical ability, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like it is
a combination of things.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's at best 70-30, you know, like, like.
So my next question then, Jasper, who replaces J. Cole?
I mean, if I had to pick 3 people who were like cultural, No.
Your big three.
No, not my big three. I just mean in general. Like, I think culturally, the big three in terms of like size and like just like in terms of scale and permeating like different audiences or just like different demographics. I would say right now, still Kanye, Drake, and Travis. In terms of just like sheer spread and like sheer reach across like the industry, the different people who listen to the music and like who is like.
But like that's the thing though, it's only sheer spread though. It seems
But that's
like
what I'm talking about.
but like you
It didn't-
but like you can't just do that though. It has
No,
you have to consider
It didn't sound. It didn't sound like they were talking about talent in the song. Is what I'm saying. It sounded like they were talking about like we're the biggest in the industry.
I think that's a ridiculous assertion. I think that's
I don't know.
Santa Claus's real level assertion. Like
I don't know if it's about the mass numbers, but if that is your logic, fine. Don't say Kanye and Travis because I feel like they're
that's way too much overlap. That's damn near a circle.
That's fair. I mean, I don't know who else I would put then. Just like in terms of scale, I don't know. Maybe Future would be up there. I mean, he's pretty high up. I mean, in terms of
Future, Drake,
in terms of volume. Yeah, I think that's fair.
You know what? I disagree, but I don't think that's crazy.
I also
When I heard
I don't think it's crazy.
I'm saying when I heard the line, I thought it from a number standpoint, not from a talent standpoint. Because would J. Cole actually go so far as to say that Drake is one of the top 3 lyricists and artists of like?
I think that's what they are saying. Like I definitely think. Yeah, I definitely think that that's what they're talking about.
That's such an assertion, though. Just because, like, I don't know.
I think that's because you don't think Drake.
Yeah, I think like once again, like
The last 10 years, yes.
yeah,
Drake before that,
For me, I don't think you think he's talented. That's the
Yeah.
real issue.
right? But that's why, like, for me, that bar didn't even register that way. So I'm saying,
yeah. Like whenever I hear the big three, I always think like, and then like, because like because like, I think it's as clear as day. Yeah.
An argument against the
Yeah, I also think it's like as clear as day when he's like, well, Kendrick is like, well, fuck the big three, it's just Big Me. Like Kendrick is not the biggest artist in the world by a stretch. He's one of them. He's like,
no, yeah.
But like, you could definitely, but you just can't make the argument that he is the only the biggest artist. You can make the argument that he's the best though.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and so that's why I think like the whole thing, like, just because like I just feel like that perspective completely ignores like the 50-year tradition that this kind of thing has in hip hop.
Yeah, I know, but we were just talking about how like the diss track is dead and how it's like.
Well, I think like that is a moment of like bringing it back, because I think the other thing that's like important to bring up is that First Person Shooter was not a diss track.
No, I know.
Yeah, First Person Shooter. If anything, I thought we were gonna get a remix with Kendrick.
See, this is what I was talking about on TikTok. It felt like it just came out of nowhere because like no one was saying anything bad. And Kendrick was just like,
I kind of get it. I kind of get it. I think if you genuinely think you're the best and people are like, oh no, we're the big three, it's like, fuck you. Like,
disrespected.
yeah, like, no, I don't think it comes out of nowhere. But yeah, you're right. I don't think First Person Shooter
said there's a big three.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, like I to me, First Person Shooter did not read as like an attack, but at the same time, like I see why Kendrick Lamar saw it that way.
Yeah, it was a little.
I don't care.
The hubris is there. It's like, all right, Sonny boy.
Yeah,
Like, take care of business.
yeah, but yeah,
memes and videos that like have came out of this from TikTok. It's just like
Yeah.
people pretending to be in studio, and Kendrick just shows up with a hoodie. Is just like, no, I do hate Drake. It's great.
Oh,
dude, they hate Drake so much they got The Weeknd to come back. Like The Weeknd did features again. They hate Drake so much.
you both just reminded me of something that I was thinking about when I said that like I liked the song musically for First Person Shooter better than I liked a lot of the imagery that went with it. That kind of ties into this. Remember when they recreated the Messi Ronaldo like chess game thing? Yeah, that's like kind of what got me thinking about it, because both of those guys are arguably the biggest in the sport popularity wise. There's a big debate about whether or not they're the most talented. And then there's a third guy, Mbappe, who a lot of other people think is like just as talented, right? Or if not more so.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's kind of where I went with it of like, oh, it's like commercially big. It's like self-referential.
I just feel like it's never. I feel like no, yeah, but like that just. I don't know. It feels like a stretch.
The other soccer person. Messi and Ronaldo are like the best people. So like, I feel like
Yeah.
that should be implied.
Yeah, right. Like,
I'm saying it's up for
Chess
debate
game.
though.
What's the
There's like,
point of the chess
but there's like a super hot debate over like that, and then there's Mbappe, and like people will talk about Ronaldinho and like the whole like going back. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like I feel like it's a thing where it's like it's contested enough where I was like, maybe that's not the direct like implication, but either way.
Yeah. Because I just feel like because it's so mathematical, like, because if we're talking about streams, it's Drake. Like, there's no debate. There is
He
no,
would
yeah.
be the big me. Like,
Well, the thing is that like it's not. Well, the spread's not that big. I think he only has like 10 million more than Kendrick. But like, but the thing is, it's a number. It's a number. That's the thing, right? And it's boring. That's why I don't think anyone is. I think like unless someone is calling that out, I don't think they're ever talking about it because it's a verifiable fact, right? Like people don't debate like whether The Dark Knight made more money than The Avengers. They debate what's the better movie. You know, I feel like all like commercial viability is just like the bottom of the barrel thing to debate because it's verifiable, you know, like, so that's why it's just like anything that doesn't boil down to the craft, I feel like just kind of misses the mark on like what these are actually supposed to be.
should we just say what we want?
Yeah. Oh yeah. What I want is one, I just want me and Kendrick back. Like, listen, I like To Pimp a Butterfly. I like To Pimp a Butterfly too. Therapy Boogaloo. Like, but give me Mean Street Kendrick back. I want him to be, you know, burning chains and crushing tattoos or whatever it is. I want more features.
Burning chains.
Yeah.
Dude, I want N95 Kendrick
Yeah.
like
I
for
don't-
an entire project.
Yeah. I just want like balls to the wall. I want
Bitch.
also if the Andrew Tate,
Mom was just screaming.
oh my God. And if the Andrew Tate chair sniffer is correct and Aiden Ross, like,
Okay, that took me a second.
Yeah.
What?
if he's correct,
Ross is correct.
and Kendrick has a whole diss track ready, I'm gonna eat that up.
All I want, I want J. Cole to release a leading single to the album that's not on the album. That should be
Yeah.
a straight diss track. That's what I want from him. I want Drake to respond tonight in the feature so that there's more chaos. Because now we have Kanye coming out of nowhere talking about this when he wasn't even.
Kanye, that's the other thing. Like, Kanye is. I don't think Kanye can ever be in anyone's big three because he is trending this way.
That's true.
You know, like in every way, like in every way, like.
Chaos everywhere though. It's just
Also, Kanye did not outshine Kendrick on
Oh yeah.
No, he didn't.
No Parties in LA.
Although I will say the line "a 38-year-old 8-year-old with rich problems" is oddly self-aware.
Oh, I think that's some.
A little on the nose.
Oh, I think that song. I think Kanye actually raps really well on that song. I'm not saying that that's a bad verse from Kanye. I just think Kendrick is better because it's like Michael Jordan, right? Like, it's like, what are we talking about here? Like, and it's not like Michael Jordan now, where it's like, oh, they're all the people who played past him. It's like talking about Michael Jordan in 1998, and it's like, oh, it's like all in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, so that's what I want. I want a full. Yeah, I want the Hillbillies. That's what I want.
I want the Hillbillies album.
And I want escalation. I want Jid the bit diss Baby Keem. I want Baby Keem to go after Earth Gang. I want
generations.
Yeah,
going into this.
I want Travis Scott to pick a side. I think everyone on this album.
Savage to pick a side.
I think everyone on this album should automatically be on side Kendrick. Which, listen, I feel uncomfortable sharing a space with Playboy Cardi, but if it's against Drake, I'll do it.
I want Kendrick to do a track with Pharrell because
I love that. Yeah,
Drake went after Pharrell on Utopia.
Yeah, and that is
Drake
even
does have a lot of it.
Yeah,
and like a lot of it is so weirdly like just.
That's why there was some
beefing with Pharrell now for some reason.
That's why there's one inclusion on here as far as features that I thought was kind of sussy, even though creatively, I actually really liked his feat, and that's Travis Scott, because it's like Travis Scott is like very buddy with Drake, and like very buddy with Drake. And it's like if there's anyone in this camp who's gonna turncoat and join team Drake Cole, huh?
Kanye will be Team Kendrick.
No, Kanye's got it.
So attached to
Kanye can be team. That might make me go team Drake. That might make.
Yeet is gonna be Team Drake.
Oh, Yeet will be team. Yeah, imagine. Oh man, they split up Yeet and Future. They're gonna
so much crossover. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like all these artists have worked together nonstop.
Ari Lennox is gonna diss Doechii.
It almost kind of reminds me of 2018, the like MGK Eminem beef that like caused MGK to leave the genre.
Yeah,
Even though like a lot of people, no, I know, I'm not saying that, but a lot of people were saying that it was like manufactured beef because they were both technically on the same label and like worked with the same producers for their tracks. So it's like, did the label just like do this as a publicity stunt? Like, what's the context, And I'm sure that this, it's not that, but like,
I don't hate that theory. I don't hate that theory. I think it may have been like something generated to transition MGK away from hip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is just, I mean, it was like, there was something to be said about 2018 because anything that can make Purvis come up to me like, bro, did you listen to that Eminem song? That is that's a special moment. Like,
song, like it happened.
No, that did happen. That did happen. We were in the warehouse of the Blue Store, and you came up to me.
I never listened to Eminem, but I probably might have listened.
Yeah, it was the diss. It was only the diss.
Nothing else.
It was only the diss, but it was that. But yeah, like this just is like way more exciting, just because it is like the best going after the biggest, and we'll see who responds and we'll see like what happens. I think Drake has already lost. Drake's initial response to this was an Instagram post, which not a great sign.
Not
a great sign. Do you think J. Cole does anything?
No.
No. That's the crazy part.
Yeah. I just feel like I feel like that is like why it's like such an act of domination almost, because like Kendrick is putting Drake in his comfort zone and it's still a lose-lose scenario.
That's so funny.
Right? Like this is the only thing Drake is good at. And like, here's the thing, right? Like he's either not going to respond. And that doesn't look great. That looks really bad. He's putting out if he puts out a song tonight called Olympic Shit Talking after being dissed by the GOAT and doesn't respond, it's over. I
have Olympics.
I think that is going to be a career, not a career ending, but a career shifting moment.
I sadly disagree. I think it should, but I don't think it will.
Once again, I'm not saying ending. I'm saying shifting. And then the other thing is that he responds, right? I think the best case scenario is that he like goes punch for punch, but I don't, and like puts up an admirable response. But I don't think there's any chance, like,
what would he?
I don't think there's any chance that he puts out a diss that is better than this verse. And if there is a full Kendrick diss song coming, no chance it's better than that. Yeah.
I think it could be better than the verse. I don't think it'd be better than the song.
That's a fair point. I agree with that. I mean, I don't know. No, I don't agree with that, but I don't think you're crazy.
Okay. But like, I don't, what is he even going to talk about? God, I'm so ready.
Yeah. Like how, like what do you actually have to call Kendrick out about? Right.
I mean,
you're short. You simped on Damn. You're sad a lot.
Yeah.
Awesome. So like that.
It's like, hey, you went to therapy.
Your albums don't have replay value.
Like the way I feel
wrong.
Like, he didn't actually.
I didn't say it.
Like talk bad about J. Cole. So it's like the same thing as like,
yeah.
What are you gonna say about J. Cole?
Yeah, I think like the best
thing. What did J. Cole do wrong?
Yeah.
He did nothing wrong.
I mean, J. Cole's kind of the one who did it. Is like, don't put me in a class with you fools.
Yeah. But that's the thing. He had like one line towards J. Cole. The rest of the verse is very clearly directed.
Yeah, very good. The rest of the album is very clearly directed.
Let's get
right. And the other thing, another thing I want, if he does a diss, because if Kendrick does a full diss track, I want there to be a feature. I want it to be Megan.
Oh my.
He shouted out Megan on Family Ties. He's been shouting her out at concerts. That would.
We are headed all out war.
That's what. That's what. If we get this. If Kendrick gets the City Girls.
But guys, which side does Chance the Rapper take?
Chance is not having
I know.
Chance is like, I'm gonna go open a venue.
It's like, but guys, how does this diss track affect LeBron's legacy?
I was literally about to say, how does it affect LeBron's legacy?
Where is Big Crit gonna go? Like, that's my big three.
Where's Griselda's gonna go? Because I'm going where they're going.
Where's West Side Gun gonna be?
Buffalo, New York.
Yeah. Where's Action Bronson? Is he gonna be cooking for which side? Like,
Philadelphia.
We're gonna start a civil war based off of hip.
So
Just
okay. Now, should we talk about the album itself?
yes.
It's aight.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's very good. I think it's even very good. Is it my favorite album of the year? No. There's a good handful of albums I like more this year. I like the Schoolboy Q. I like Yeats. I like Tierra Whack. I like All Is Yellow more. All Is Yellow might be even.
You
with-
want all
All Is Yellow has grown on me a lot. This
Listen to it today.
this and All Is Yellow might be even, but yeah, at right now, like, but yeah, no, I did really like this. I just thought it was a little long in the tooth. I thought there were some excellent features. I thought there was one feature that I did not like at all. And yeah, that's it. And it just seemed like a very focused for, I don't know, how many tracks is this total? It's 17 tracks with the bonus. The bonus does not feel like a bonus. It feels like the last song on the album.
It's like
obvious.
Yeah, it's the last song on the album. I feel like 12 of these are like super focused, like excellent song. Young Metro, incredible. Claustrophobic, incredible. Slimed In,
Love
which one? Ice Attack. Ice Attack's fantastic. I like Type Shit. I like Type Shit a lot. I think I like Cinderella way, way, way more. But yeah, I like Type Shit. Magic Don Juan, I thought was fantastic.
Rick Ross.
The Rick Ross feature was excellent. The excellent Fried, I thought was good. Running Out of Time, I thought was good.
It's a lot of GTA's pretty good. It's a lot.
GTA is like one of the GTA Ain't No Love. I actually think I may have misspoke. I
I
think
think from GTA onward is just like it slows down.
I definitely agree with that. Yeah, I thought What the Fuck You Mean was probably like one of the. Yeah, I think it really like loses steam in the back ends. I really do think it does.
Yeah.
I also did not love Claustrophobic. And
One's okay.
yeah, and like I liked We Don't Trust You, but I just don't know if it would be a better intro than just going straight to Young Metro.
Mhm.
I think, I think it's a very good song. I'm not even saying cut it from the album. I'm just like, I don't know if it has to be the first song.
That's understandable.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I like this a lot. I am very excited to be seeing them in concert. Because I did get, those tickets. We're going to bring signs that say fuck Drake.
He's okay.
What did Metro do? Why does Metro hate Drake?
That's the other crazy thing. It's like
I have a theory. I have a theory here. Sorry.
Oh, no, if you have a theory, yeah.
I was gonna say that's what I was telling you on TikTok. Is like, yes, Kendrick absolutely deserves to come out with this song and say whatever he wants to say because he's Kendrick. But it's very obvious that this whole album was just like a diss album towards Drake because the issues between him and Future and him and Metro are like on a much deeper scale.
It's much more personal.
Man.
Yeah, because like Kendrick, it's like hip hop shit. It's like, no, I'm just better than you. Yeah, in Future, it's like exes and shit. Like,
right. So there's layers to this, and I understand why they made a whole album versus Kendrick making a feature.
Yeah. And like, do you think We Don't Trust You is about Drake?
Yeah, dude.
I'm assuming so.
Yeah, like, do you think that's who they don't trust?
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
I
obviously.
mean, that's what I thought when I started listening to it.
Yeah, I completely agree.
They just like all these people like just work together. Like Drake has 2 features on Future's last album.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's going on?
Yeah, well, this shit happens like that. I mean, I know like beef between Drake and The Weeknd is very like
historical.
that's historic. Kendrick Lamar, that's historic.
I'm about decade.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
my theory, as a producer, how do you grow your career?
I mean, I think it's obvious now. It's doing collab.
Yeah,
Right.
I think it's just good. Metro has made the blueprint, so I think it's very
for the modern era, 100%.
for them.
So it's collab albums, but then to really capture like pop culture, the Twitter hype, the buzz, all that, it's like you got to have something that's like controversial to an extent, right? It's like I feel like Metro's at the point in his career where he's done what he can as a producer, just in like the traditional sense, because he's reached levels that no other producer ever has. Like Pierre Byrne is technically like and even Benny X are like second and third, I would say, in terms of popularity or like scale.
real competitors at one point.
Yeah, and they don't come close.
No, not anymore.
Yeah, so I think in this way it's like, and I think there's a reason Drake gets in so many of these situations. You know, when you're at the top and you're the biggest, very easy for somebody else to kind of attach themselves to that as a way of gaining publicity. I mean, how many 14-year-old white kids heard of Pusha T through the whole beef with Drake, right? I'd be curious. Like,
Oh, yeah,
there's
yeah,
definitely-
probably a fair amount. Yeah.
The other
I think
thing
there's-
is, if they listen to Kanye, they got about push.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Is that like,
yeah.
I get your point.
yeah.
But yeah, it's like I think there's an element of that here where it's like the David and Goliath, like there's a little bit of clout to be gained and a little bit of that kind of pop culture sphere to penetrate if you're Metro, trying to get your name in there and put it alongside people who are going at Drake like this. I think that's a big part of it.
I am curious, and I do have a question for you, because this is the first time you mentioned something along these lines.
Yeah.
How much of this do you think is fabricated?
I don't think this is fabricated, but I think that it's very carefully like
Cultivated.
calculated. Yeah, it's designed to be as viral and as like the moment as possible in order to try and really capitalize on the celebrity that's in like the different camps, you know?
Yeah. And I think like, I totally agree with you, Jasper. I think that's exactly what's happening here. I think the insidious part of this is that like, it's not just this album, it's every album. And the thing is, it's albums, including albums that stand on their own creative merits, right? Like, the Forever Story is like this standout album, you know, of this decade so far. But like a lot of the success that has had has come from virality.
Yeah.
You know, not through,
It's unavoidable.
you know, so I think that's, and I think this is just an example where like the bones of that are just like laid bare in such a way that doesn't compromise the creative vision. So I think this is a really interesting case study in like just like looking at that. And yeah, I don't think this comes across as inauthentic or manufactured at all. Calculated and cultivated and groomed for sure, but not inauthentic or manufactured or like, you know, this does not feel like the WWE.
It's funny that you mentioned that because when we were talking Kendrick versus Drake and J. Cole, that exact image popped into my head of like 5'5" Kendrick somehow body slamming both 6 foot and 6'2", like Drake and J. Cole in a ring, in an octagon or something.
No.
It's like, oh my God, get the chair.
Everyone's losing their mind. I don't know. It's crazy to say this, although this may not be an A+ album, although this may not be a classic down the road. I feel like this album is going to change how a lot of people.
Oh, 100%. This is going to be a flashpoint. You know, this is going to be very
Big Mo.
I think this is going to be very similar to like Damn.
Yeah.
Because, and you know, this is going to be, I think like the differences in our ages are going to speak here. Right. But like, to me, like I see Damn, that is not like Kendrick's most popular album. That is not his most critically well-received album, but it was a cultural flashpoint for a massive amount of his fan base.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
A lot of people.
right. A ton of people, like most of the people who a ton of people who prefer Good Kid, Mad City to Damn right now got to Good Kid, Mad City through Damn. Right. I think this will probably be something very similar. even though I don't think Future is someone who's like unapproachable or like the kind of person that like people don't listen to. I think if anything turns people off from Future, it's the subject matter.
Yeah.
I feel like, if there's one, I feel like the biggest negative I hear about this album, and of course it's within the context of the Kendrick Lamar song, and it's like, there's a ton of people who like Kendrick Lamar who are like, I do not want to sit through a Future song to get to it. Yeah. Rachel's listening to it, and like she is not like turned off by it, but she's like, yeah, I just have to hear Future say some like wild shit, and then I hear like my favorite thing I've heard all year. Like,
I just fucked your bitch.
It's on.
Thanks. Dude, I'm
so mad it doesn't have a music video.
Dude, I gotta say, that song's incredible. I am, especially after seeing Future last year live, and like that was. Look, I don't know if it was the best set I've ever seen. I doubt that. I don't even think it was the best set I saw last year. I don't think it was the best set I saw at that festival. But it was a experience. Just like that experience of being like, yeah, I guess I kind of like Future. Let me check this out. And then just knowing every single song is like
every moment,
right? And the other thing I think is just very fascinating about Future that I think is laid bare in these moments, like when you see him live, and like if you look at the social media activity following like his album releases, given everything I just said about why some people don't like listening to Future, it is like kind of wild how much of a female fan base he has.
Huge.
He has he has like one of the biggest female fan bases. It's like insane.
Drake song.
Yeah, like yeah. So
doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all. Well, who's the judge? But yeah, I think this is a really good album. I'm certain. I think this is the year. I think I gotta do a Future deep dive.
Oh,
I think I'm gonna do it. MF Doom. Yeah, yeah. What album should I start with? Tell me what album I should start with. I'll listen to it tomorrow while I play God of War.
Give me a second. I'm gonna go back and decide.
Yeah, give me two. Tell me which is his R&B album you always recommend people.
Oh yeah.
And then yeah. But yeah. So like once again, like this is not my favorite album of the year. But I think it's a fun as fuck cultural moment. I think it is a very good album.
I'm here for the ride.
And I think it's going to be an entryway into like, this artist who has defined the most popular sound in hip hop. I mean, I think the most popular sound in hip hop is probably still like the R&B mixed with hip hop kind of like thing that Drake does. I think if you want to just go like strictly barsy kind of stuff, I think J. Cole is probably like the other, right? Like J. Cole only has like 4 million less listeners than Future. So it's like, I think he has like, he's another artist with a massive female fan base.
All these make sense for very different.
Yeah. Whereas like, I don't think Kendrick Lamar does.
Not as big. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's not as it doesn't stand out visually like when you go see them live, Also,
it's almost like it's out of respect, which sounds weird, but like I feel like it's almost out of respect just because he's so talented. He's just so talented.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the context for out of respect?
Yeah.
Like in terms of just like how massive Kendrick is, even people that may not like Kendrick.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Like, you gotta respect.
Honestly, there's a lot of people I have met who are like, oh yeah, I like Kendrick Lamar. And then very similar to like what happened like Radiohead 10 years ago, where people are like, oh yeah, I really like this artist because they want to use it to signal something about themselves. But they don't. That is definitely something I've noticed with like, and there are other artists that are like that too, where like, it seems like people kind of clock in to kind of like
an aesthetic.
Yes. Yeah. That's a great, it's almost like I said it. Like, I can't believe you said that. That's insane. Like,
you're welcome.
You're learning. Like,
something else.
We're going to talk about some Purvis. I'm going to give you some books about critical theory. And some comic books. Like,
okay, maybe.
All right.
But yeah,
give this up.
Yeah, what grade are we giving it? I'm gonna go B plus on the virtue of like that and Cinderella. I really like Cinderella. Yeah, and I don't really, and that's another thing. I don't really usually like Travis Scott's features. I think he was used excellently on Cinderella.
Yeah.
And I thought he was pretty good on the other one. It's just that the Playboy Cardi comes on, I gotta skip the song. I don't like the yelping. He sounds like when someone steps on a dog. Like,
I'm gonna go A minus. I really, really enjoyed this album. I honestly think this is one of Metro's better albums.
yeah.
Just me.
Do you think is it up there as one of your do you think it's your favorite of the year so far?
I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Lips, man.
Blue Lips does it, and Blue Lips is a grower. Yeah, and Blue Lips is a grower. Yeah, like, yeah. And 2093, I also like, and it stuck around for me really,
You've grown. You've grown.
No, I like that album a lot, man. I like that album. I think Yeat's grown, actually. Like, I think Yeat's grown more than I have, almost probably to a problem.
He's gonna be a problem.
Oh no, I think like Yeat has probably grown more than me, almost to the point where that might be a problem. Like, but yeah, no, I go B plus. I think it's a very good album. I think it's a little long in the tooth. I think it's a little boring, but I think for a future album, it's like pretty well focused. Jasper?
Yeah, I'm gonna go B plus too. It definitely does run out of steam about 3/4 of the way through. The opening and the first like probably 6 tracks, super solid, really, really strong. But I don't think it captures the same level of excitement overall as like Heroes and Villains does. And with that being my point of comparison for like a Metro album, a recent Metro album, that's why it's like it doesn't necessarily hold up as a full project. But yeah, like some of the tracks on here just stand out like crazy though, like we talked about.
But
Yeah.
It's a good album.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Do you want to do Rex?
We'll see if we're gonna get a response. But yes, let's do.
Yeah, let's do Rex. Okay, I'm going to start with an album I listened to today. And I thought this song was probably my favorite song off the album. It made me really happy. I think it's a song about a kind of moment everyone has that I thought was just like, it's Movies by Tierra Whack off her new album, Worldwide Whack. It's about like just wanting someone that will take you on like simple dates, like going to the movies. And it's just like it's an interesting perspective. I enjoyed it a lot.
I like that.
Yeah, great. No, that's
I'm not gonna lie. This track has changed everything for me. And that's all I want. That's literally all I want. It's the only thing I can ask for. It's the only thing I've been focusing on. I went back to listen to back to back. I just want as many good diss tracks as I can get.
No,
So my recommendation is back to back.
dude, I love Back to Back. It's on my my video game playlist, and it always works. I learned the game in William Wesley. You could never test me.
Okay.
all right. I'm going with the theme of the week. I'm gonna do a Future song. Future and Juice World, World on Drugs. I'm going Fine China.
Banger. I don't even know what you're gonna say. Banger.
Fine China, biggest song off the project. Really good. The chorus is a little cringe, but good song. Great song.
But yeah, I love it.
Okay, I'm gonna mention another song from another album I listened to this week. By an artist I've loved for a long time due to their association with the group. I listened to Mika's Laundry, the debut album by Matt Champion. Matt Champion was part of Brockhampton. Obviously Kevin Abstract has had like a great run after Brockhampton. But he kind of had a head start over everyone. So this was like the first full length from, one of the main members. And I'm recommending the song Aphid featuring Dijon, which is very much like in the alternative R&B slow bedroom kind of song. Fantastic. I think the album itself, how do I put this? It almost feels like Matt Champion's talent is a detriment to the album because he's very clearly like looking for a sound, and the album is like very scattered and it's very him like trying a lot of different things. And he's very successful at a lot of them. Like he has like a lot of potential. It really like I think he could go this direction. There's like more hip hoppy stuff that I think he could definitely go in that direction. Like there's a lot of success on the album, but it almost is like at the cost of the album. Does that make sense? Like I could see myself going back and listening to any given song on this album. I don't know how often I'm going to go back and listen to the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get that.
But yeah, Aphid by Matt Champion featuring Dejan.
He's that and Tierra Whack. I need to listen to both of them.
Yeah, I also got to listen to Flo Milli. That's who I've been sleeping on.
Jeez, man. Okay. I'll do my second song this week because of, again, all the drama. I went down a list of moments where like I listened to a song for the first time or listened to an album for the first time and they don't have the features listed and then you hear the voice and you absolutely lose your mind.
Yeah.
One of them I wanted to say was a much more lower key one. It was actually the song Afro Aaron on the Logic album. Not Drake, Jesus Christ. J. Cole gave him a verse. He didn't have actual time to meet him in the studio and like do a full verse, but he essentially recorded a verse for him that has two different perspectives on Logic's career. And it's extremely touching, extremely passionate, and very dedicated towards Logic's like route that he's taken as an artist. And it actually touches on like what it's like to be a mixed artist because J. Cole's mom is white. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
It's a really dope thing. And when it came on and he's not listed at all as a feature, I dropped my. So yeah, that's that. That's all. That's my second.
Since we were talking about albums or just music we were listening to this week, I realized I've been lacking in my continued listening of Green Day. And I've been listening to Green Day again this week. Been a long time fan since I was like a little kid.
Are you going to go see them at Wrigley?
Introduced me. I was thinking about it. Tickets were like really, really expensive last I looked.
Reach out to Jeff.
I will.
Yeah.
El Jefe, we love you.
Yeah, shout out El Jefe.
Yeah.
Unofficial no.
Yeah.
Honestly, the fourth nobody. Yeah, honestly. Yeah, we have a fourth.
And that's like a kind of
fourth and fifth nobody. It doesn't at any given point.
they trade in it.
Yeah, they trade.
Yeah, but I was just going back through. My girlfriend wanted to put on Revolution Radio in the car, so we did, and then I went back to some of the other stuff I love, like the Super Hits album. I'm going Walking Contradiction from 1995.
It's a very fun song.
Yeah, I think it's the closing track off. Yeah, it's the closing track off Insomniac.
Yeah,
it's an album that I don't know that well, but
I love Insomniac. I think Walking Contradiction is a very fun song. I think it's one of the weaker songs on that album, but it's a hit. Like I'm not going to say it's a bad song. It's a fucking slapper. It's just, I really like Insomniac. I think that's one of, besides for American Idiot, which is quite literally tied for the first album I ever purchased. Like Insomniac's probably the best one. So that's a really good pick.
Yeah, I love American Idiot. I really like Nimrod.
Nimrod's fantastic.
Revolution Radio is pretty good. Like it's got its low points. And unpopular opinion, I actually like the majority of Revolution Radio.
Yeah. I can't say I like anything. I can't say I particularly like any Green Day that came after American Idiot. Yeah. I felt like 21st Century Breakdown was just it was just diet American Idiot. And then Uno Dos Tres just lost me.
Well, so the problem with those, they came out when Obama was president. Green Day only comes out when there's a Republican president.
There is like a cyclical nature of like
Purvis, you laugh, but it's totally
no. There's like a cyclical nature of like my feelings on Green Day when it comes
to reinvent themselves.
Yeah, no, they do because they're such a and that's the thing, right? Like they're a capital P political band. Like it's not like System of a Down or like a hip hop artist who are talking about like actual like systems of oppression and shit. They're very much like pointed at like authority figures. So like their sound just doesn't sound good. Like when people
things are going well.
I mean, I would not have described 2008 as things going well, but there's no one to point at. You know what I mean?
Hope. They're on the horizon.
Yeah.
English radio came out in 2016
Yeah.
when Trump was getting elected.
Yeah.
So,
That,
they were fighting the man.
yeah. If sounds like Run the Jewels 3. Oh my God. But yeah, like American Idiot went through like cycles where like it came out like right before or right during George Bush. And it was like, oh, this is prescient and it's about this. And then like Barack Obama happens and it's like, oh, this is a really good album, but maybe it's a bit over dramatic. And then Trump happens and it's like, this was a prophecy. This was Lisa Al Gaib level prophecies being written.
So good, dude. Can we do a deep dive on American Idiot, please?
Honestly, next time Purvis can't be on the show, yeah, let's do American Idiot. I would love to do
But I
that.
want Purvis to listen to it.
Oh yeah,
I'll listen to it.
you'll like it.
So good.
You'll like it way more.
No doubt.
It is way poppier than any of the rock music I've made you listen to.
It's a rock opera, pretty much.
And it's a story. It is a story. It is as narrative forward as Good Kid, Mad City. I would honestly say like it very much exists in a similar place in my brain as Good Kid, Mad City, as like the like musical flashpoints of my life. Right. I actually think that that's a very good comparison, those two albums, American Idiot and Good Kid, Mad City, which, by the way, on Sunday, I had Rachel listen to Good Kid, Mad City all the way through. Yeah, she did not like all the voicemails. Like,
Father, I come to you a sinner, and I humbly repent
Yeah.
of my sins.
Or pizza for your grandmother.
yeah. Look, but all I know is one thing, and I've been pushing all day this away, that away, through good thousand alleyways just to say Money Trees.
Part of me,
The perfect place for shade, Purvis.
that album,
Just how he feels.
It's just how I
that
feel.
album just runs on repeat sometimes in my head. Like,
I have it right there.
yeah, I know. And
I have it next to a sword in case I have to protect it.
there it is. I think about the skits, and like the line that always comes to mind is that what I think it is. I know that's not what I think it is.
Did you give him the shenanigans? Like,
I like want to quote it so bad, but no one else is gonna know what I'm talking about.
it's just like how sometimes, like when I just like zone out, like when people disappoint me in social situations, I'll just zone out and be like, I remember I was conflicted with using my influence. Sometimes I did the same. Okay, I think we're done. I think we're
Liam coming else. It's like, okay.
Hey, I got a pack of blacks and a beat.
BCD. All right.
In the podcast.